Happy Valentine's Day, friends! In honor of Valentine's Day, I asked for your questions about boudoir photography. I received a lot of responses, but 2 questions came up over and over again. Last week, I shared a video answering the first question, which was, how do I get my wife or any significant other to allow me to do boudoir photos of them? I will link to the video where I answer that in the description, but now it's time for question number 2, which is, how do you get inspiration for a boudoir shoot? And it's a great question. We've all seen boudoir photography in a bed, but what else is there? How can we expand that? I don't think the photo needs to be in a bedroom or even in a house. I don't think the subject necessarily needs to be wearing lingerie. I think it's all about intention and attitude. So in this video, I have pulled examples from my own catalog of boudoir style photo shoots from the past 10 years, along with a shoot that I just did a couple of weeks ago. I'll talk through each of my examples and how I found inspiration and built a photo project around it. And then at the end of this video, I'll share how you can see more of my boudoir work to gain inspiration for your own projects. There are 4 main topics we'll explore with each photo today. Those are general concept, location, styling, and posing. It's how these things fit together that really make up the shoot. I mean, there are other things that might inspire you, like your subject or maybe some cool new lighting that you have. But even if you are inspired by some of those other things, you still need to figure out concept, location, styling, and posing. And you need inspiration for at least one part of those to get you going on building a photo project. This first photo project I will share is a classic boudoir look. Actually, I did 2 looks during this shoot, one that was more fun and the other that was more overtly sexy. But they were in the same location, the bedroom, on the bed. My first inspiration for this shoot was actually viewer questions that I had received over the years about boudoir photos. I just finally decided to strip the idea of boudoir down to basics. Strip down. Anyway, getting down to basics where you aren't necessarily spending a bunch of money on props or styling or wardrobe or location, but I liked the idea of making one part a little more playful and approachable, but then making another one that almost seemed like it was more than it was, more sexy, more in your face, without really being a lot more work. So the inspiration was the concept, right? Simple, sexy. And building on that inspiration, I thought about the 3 other things: location, styling, and posing. For location, I wanted something plain so that you all as photographers could picture in your head whatever location that you have available to you. Remember that these photos weren't for a client, they were for a video where I was talking about simple boudoir photography. So this was in a pretty small bedroom, so I didn't do a lot of environmental light. I wanted to sort of hide the rest of the room. I believe that I even moved the nightstands out and I put clean sheets on the bed. For styling, I had my hair down, knowing that I would want to play with it almost like a prop. And I wore simple makeup. Again, the idea was that anyone can do this. And I went with just some panties that I had in my drawer. I thought sheer would be fun because you get a little peek of booty skin through them, but I was considering what most women would just have in their drawer already, a pair of plain black undies. And then I used the sheet-like wardrobe to cover up in different ways. Again, going back to simple and that anyone can do it. In different photos, I used the sheet in different ways, but I was often very covered up. It was also similar in the second set of photos where I did add a couple of things to intensify the sex appeal. Red satin sheets and a pair of black thigh highs, but again, I was mostly covered up. In my posing in all of the images, I stuck to the idea that anyone could take these photos and basically copy them for their own shoot with any model. Okay, next photo project, Pinup. Where the last project was simple, this project was more involved. I think the inspiration was just Valentine's Day, and I had wanted to do a pinup shoot for a while, but I didn't think I could pull it off as a model. But as usual, I was too impatient / lazy / type A, let's be honest, to get a model. I did Google searches for Pinup and I went from there. For location, I saw that a lot of Pinup was just on a plain background, so that's what I did. That type of photo was really all about styling and posing. For styling, I shopped my closet in the lingerie store and I came up with a couple of looks to try, but I knew that I was going to need some professional assistance with hair and makeup, so I went somewhere and I said, Pinup, red lips. Incidentally, I told them ahead of time what I wanted so that they had time to prepare and get their inspiration. And for posing, again, I looked at actual pinup shots and I mimicked some of those poses, but like I did with wardrobe for this shoot, I got the idea of the style and intention and then used that to come up with some of my own ideas. That leads well into this series of photos because the inspiration for this was a specific image, this one. I saw this in a magazine and I really liked the pinkish theme, the idea of a color wash. I wanted to incorporate something like that into my Valentine's project for that year. While thinking about how to do that, I thought of this photo, which had been hanging out in my folder of inspiration photos for years. So I combined the two. Again, I was using the idea of a color theme and the idea of, well, a mattress on the ground and just being lazy on it, but it certainly isn't a literal interpretation of either of the two inspirational images. I just took the parts that I liked, a wash of color over the image, a bit of a dreamy look, being lazy on a mattress, and I put my own spin on them and I expanded from there. Incidentally, another inspiration I left out was that I had a monthly theme during this shoot. It was Far Away February, and I wanted a dreamy or kind of far away look overall. So in this case, it was a lot of things that came together for the finished product. And the last series I want to walk through is a new one. I just did this shoot a couple of weeks ago. The inspiration was the question that I answered in last week's video about asking your significant other to do a boudoir shoot with you. The idea here is that the subject may not be completely comfortable with classic boudoir styling and or location. So I thought of a shoot where someone may be more comfortable, but still with a sexy spin on things. For me personally, it's outside in my running clothes where I feel my best. The location was just after sunrise in the forest, so frankly, that we were alone, at least for the first part, before the sledders showed up. Yes, because it was snowing. And for wardrobe, I was lucky to find some bright red tights and sports bra to tie into the Valentine's theme, but really this could be taken in any direction. A tank top and jeans could have worked, or something else entirely. Here the real focus was creating that sexy kind of vibe with my facial expressions, and quite frankly, showing some cleavage. So I talked through the places where I got inspiration for those 4 photo projects, but let's go through a bunch of places where I would regularly go to find inspiration for a boudoir shoot. Magazines. I've had digital subscriptions to all sorts of magazines over the years, but now I can access a whole bunch of them because of Amazon Prime. Fashion magazines, music magazines, men's magazines. Do I want to read the articles? No, I flip through so that I can see the ads and the editorial photos. I've even gone to the library to look at magazines or even books to find ideas. On that note, Victoria's Secret advertisements are a great place to look at poses. I had someone actually ask me in this round of questions about posing to look non-pornographic. This is a great place to start. But keep in mind that every model is different and different poses and facial expressions will work for different people and not work for others. Another place that I have found inspiration is music videos. Sometimes a theme or overall look will strike me as interesting and I'll take a screenshot and save it for later. I hope this helped you in some way to understand my process a little bit and give you some ideas on how to put together your own boudoir photo shoot. To add to those ideas, I do have several eBooks full of portraits, including boudoir-style images, where you can get ideas for your own photography. I will link to my eBooks page below. You can purchase the individual downloads, but members, I am releasing free download codes for all of the books for you today. So you can download any of the portrait books that you don't already have. If you're interested to see what other than free ebooks comes with membership, I will add a link below for you to learn more about channel membership. My members are a big part of how I keep this place up and running, so I make sure that they receive lots of extra stuff. And that's it for today. Please like this video if you found it at all helpful, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from me. I have a lot of very different projects coming up in the next several months. My Yellowstone photo tour, and I will include a link below to that because there are still a couple of spots left. I have so much borrowed gear back there that I'm going to have to go out for photos like every sunrise and sunset and every day for the next few weeks to get it all properly reviewed. So I'll be sharing lots of that stuff on social media and in videos. And I could probably go on and on about my project ideas, but check out the links below. And before you go, if you have any places where you regularly find inspiration for boudoir photos, let us know down in the comments. You might be helping somebody. And thank you for watching.